Welcome in to this Tuesday morning edition. Blue Sky Live here with you today. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio, Ole Miss and Memphis tonight from the Bluff City. Not AutoZone, on campus now for the Tigers the last couple of years. Owen Kelly will get the ball for Ole Miss. I'll have a couple comments on that, a couple baseball things today, some basketball, got SEC football. Over-unders for 2026. The sports books getting into the action, making sure you can get some bets in. It's good business for them to go ahead and get it out early because things are going to change and they're going to have those lines locked in. There's going to be a few that are just really obvious and big losers by the time that that August gets here. So
probably a nervous day for them.
Yeah, because you just never know. You're none of us know. Hell, inside programs they don't know. So we'll get into that and everything else coming up here today on the show. A show brought to you every day by Blue Sky locations of the state of Mississippi, up and down I-55 throughout North Mississippi as well, taking care of you with Sweet Daddy stops along the way, the brisket, the pulled pork, the lunch specials, and plenty more. They've got the fuel and car wash set up in Byram, the Epicenter down in Macomb, and of course the Oxford Exxon here locally. So that's Blue Sky throughout the state of Mississippi. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you are looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do. Let's hop into a Clark Ford today. You'll love the product. You'll love the service. Corey and the people at Clark Ford, they want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy. They'll prove to you what that means when you make the call, 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions, the pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi, providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
For any golf people out there, I just noticed that Tiger Woods is going to play in round 2 of the TGL playoff match they're currently in. Probably not going to see Tiger in a lot more golf, and at least competitively in his life. So if you just want to see him swing golf clubs, probably not a bad time to watch it as he's back for match 2 of that. Did you see Georgia the latest to try to bypass the daylight savings? They've put a bill through the Senate that passed to go to Atlantic time zone for half the year, which would prevent them from having the darker months of the year in the state of Georgia. So, I mean, that would impact people anywhere. This is not just a Georgia comment, because should it pass and you're traveling through Georgia and doing different things, that would be relevant from a time standpoint. So there would be half the year where we would be 2 hours behind Georgia, because we would fall back and they would not, and they're already an hour ahead. So they would spend half the time of the year in the Eastern time zone and half the time of the year in the Atlantic time zone.
That means the mornings would be pitch dark, right?
That is correct, yes. The Georgia Sunshine Protection Act, I believe, is what they are calling it there in the state.
I don't know why everybody can't go to standard time and just leave it. Literally, there's like the
circadian rhythms, in a way.
And a planet that revolves around the sun and everything. It just kind of makes sense. And I'm one of the few people that don't care about this at all. I'm good.
I mean, I would rather have the daylight at night. There's no doubt about that. But I don't seem to get... I told you, I take a little while to adjust. When we fall back in the fall, I have probably 10 days of mild, almost depression when it's dark at like 4:45. I do. I struggle with it mentally for a week or so. It just feels glum.
Yeah, I don't know what it says about me. It doesn't bother me. And then when we spring forward, I'm fine with it. I'm not as joyful as other people, but I'm fine with it. I do like some sun in the morning. I don't like it when it's still dark at almost 7 a.m., but whatever. I think there's such a natural fix to this, but that means it'll never happen because common sense pragmatism is not in these days.
I don't know, though. Here's the thing, too, and I have not looked with this a good bit. I don't know if there's any chance of this actually passing. Like a lot of states are doing this simply for political favor in areas, knowing that it was like Mississippi. I mean, we just had 2 recent bills that maybe there are some different versions of them that ended up passing, but these immediate ones were never going to pass, and they were much more serious in a lot of ways. We're talking about tax money, and we're talking about school choice. But yeah, a lot of times, a lot of things go forward just to set things in motion, maybe at a very low level, or also to please some constituents or certain factions inside their realms there. Because right now, Arizona doesn't observe.
No.
They don't move. And for a long time, I think it was Indianapolis that didn't move, or like certain parts of the state of Indiana.
Oh, I was
now that's been over for a while, I believe, but I think that's true as well. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they got passed anywhere, I wouldn't really care. I don't. A lot of people talk about bus rides and kids getting on buses in the pitch black dark and the safety issues that not having sun earlier in the morning could cause. Relevant. I get it. It's like anything else. I mean, you got 50% of the population that really wants it and 50% that don't, and you're going to have an issue when that is the case. So good luck to everybody involved.
I mean,
probably not spilling blood over it.
The day gets a minute longer each day.
But we can make it an hour longer.
I mean,
could.
I wish I had a strong opinion.
Sun blaring at 7:50 at night. I mean, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, by the end of the summer, it'll be 9 o'clock almost before it's.
I will say this: I'm such the curmudgeon sometimes because I go to bed so early that on those really when the sun's out, the latest, as you said, 8:30, 8:45, whatever it is. Kind of like wishing it would get dark because you're trying to get your kid in and whatever, and when you're fighting the sun a little bit in that fight because it's summer, and everything going on. Like, what difference does it make outside? Play it in the neighborhood or play it in the yard, and you're going, just get a little dusk right here. We can get her in the house and get moving and get the shower and get to bed and get on with it. So,
yeah, I don't really remember those days. If I'm totally honest, I remember the teenage days where everybody was up till 2 a.m. anyway.
Oh. Yeah, see, I'm not. I mean, we literally turned 10 today. Carly-Ann's 10 today.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, it's 10's a weird one. I think so far 10 has been mentally not harder, like not where I'm not even really pensive or anything, but just I think 10 is hitting me on time going away much harder than starting school. Everybody talks about starting school, but I don't recall that being a huge deal at all. 10 this morning was kind of like, wow, that's more than, I mean, from a status of 18, more than halfway done. You're seeing so much growth and you're seeing the change soon and just simply puberty and hormone, like everything that goes along with that. 10 is an interesting place this morning.
Mm-hmm.
She's had a lot of change. I posted on the board. We had switched equestrian stables and things. And just got a lot going on now. And when the birthday moves to 10 and that, it's a bit of a mind swirl a little bit for me today. I don't know. It's not bad. Again, it's good. Glad. I mean, look, it's way better than any alternative. You're just doing with it. The kid is so excited. Kid's like, hey, turning 10, birthday tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. You can pick at him. You go, hey, you're 9, right? No, I'm 10. It's like the worst joke in the world, but the kids get all into it and it's whatever. And then at the same time, you're like, dang, 9 was a little better. Just stay small. Just stay there. Time passes.
Not how it works.
It's not how it works. No, not at all. Corey, yeah, it's a weird question for me, and I'm not getting on the topic. Yes, we lost a child in 2015, and I never know how to answer when I get asked, is she my only child? It's a really strange question because, and I'm not criticizing you have no idea, because you want to be honest, but then it brings out more questions and answers when sometimes they just want the answer because that is your living child that you are interacting with day to day. So I typically say yes, and then I feel weirdly weird and bad about it after. But to that point, that's your answer in that. There's no textbook on how to answer that question. I never really know how to proceed in that. It's strange. So Carly-Ann would be more than happy to tell you about the other situation.
Sure.
She talks about it very bluntly, asks about it, is very curious. It's harder on the adults than the kids when that type of thing comes up. I think she makes adults uncomfortable. in that conversation.
Yeah, she didn't live through it.
No.
Which is no fault of hers, obviously.
Mm-hmm. So even kind of mourns it in a way, which is interesting.
Sure.
Just having a sibling. Most of her friends have siblings. There are very few only children in her friend group at all. I mean, I think societally, most people have multiple kids if they can, and that's a possibility from a medical standpoint. So, anyway, yeah. Not being a drag, but cool day. Yeah, turns 10 today. So, happy birthday to her. We'd had the whole sign in the yard and all that stuff this morning. So it created a little bit of a podcast preparation issue for me, but we're gonna soldier through today. We're gonna find a way to soldier through on this March 24th. I don't think this is going to be the day that we have the most significant show of the year. So we will.
It's March the 24th. We cover a program that did not make the NCAA tournament. Spring football, from an availability standpoint, hasn't started yet, and we did a comprehensive baseball show yesterday, and they don't play a
Friday.
They don't play a meaningful game. No offense to Memphis, they don't play a meaningful game until Friday. So it is what it is. We'll find a way to get through it.
Let's see. Speaking to your thoughts on the conversation, if you want a little more data point that you're correct, I saw some first ratings for the NCAA tournament, and ratings are up. There's a surge of at least 5% through the first 3 days of the NCAA tournament, and now that includes first four. That was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. For the ratings. I've got them here. Tournament averaged 9.8 million for the first 3 days, along with a 5% increase from last year. CBS and TNT began showing all the games in 2011. CBS had all the early windows from 91 to 2010. 9.8 is a 6% increase over last year. It maxed at 12.5 million. That was during VCU's 82-78 win over North Carolina, making it the most watched first round window in NCAA tournament history there on that.
I have found that this comment pisses people off, which is confounding to me, if I'm honest, because most people who are watching or listening to us are college athletics fans. And when I push back against it's broken people, and I don't do it, as you know, you and I disagree on this. We've not come to blows yet. I use these. I look at I'm not even arguing. I just look at the numbers and goes, it really is. Are y'all sure it's broken? I'm not convinced it's broken.
Oh, and one of the things is I'm fully admitting that even if I end up being right, I am going to be incredibly wrong for probably the next at least 24 months. So just sit back and go, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Got a theory. It'll be right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's cool. Fine. Whatever.
I mean, all I have is a theory, and I haven't put a hell of a lot of thought into it. I just look at the data.
Yeah, present day stats are very indicative of a very healthy sport.
And I don't think the general public cares at all. And I think power of alma mater to people is stronger than maybe even people like you and I realize. And I don't think they really care who wears the uniforms. And I don't think the tournament is hurt by Cinderella not spending as much time at the ball as she used to. I don't really think people care. I think they just assume the Rockefeller daughters hang out at the ball. And I think things are fine. Like Grind points out, when Texas is Cinderella, there is no Cinderella.
Yeah, the lowest.
So, cool.
I think this stat is true. Maybe it's 11 or worse, but I think it's double digit. The only double digit seeds remaining in this tournament, we've gotten to the Sweet 16, are on the men's side, Texas. Yes, as you call them, plucky underdog, the Longhorns.
Yep.
Is it the highest athletics budget in the country?
I mean,
is that right? Isn't that correct?
You and I have both been on the campus recently.
They're not broke.
I mean, it's not Belmont. But.
No, it's not. And then two, on the women's side, even the only double-digit seed is Virginia. That's it. So
it's money.
Thomas Jefferson's alma mater on the women's side. That's where we're at.
I mean, it's become about money. I mean, how do you get better? You put more money into it. That's it. And some people can't put more money into it, so therefore they don't get better. I mean, is that nostalgic? Is that romantic? No. But from a ratings standpoint and an interest standpoint, clearly people watched the tournament more this year than they watched it last year. And they watched it a lot last year.
And that's a good question. Eric says TV viewership the best indicator of the health of the sport. I think health shouldn't be reduced to that metric. It's not reduced to that, but it does show your overall interest from a national level beyond just your fan bases and the regionality that comes with it. It's a lot of things. It's a conversation on our board, put some stuff out. They were reacting to our conversation on the podcast. That's when the podcast does well, when it gets to the message board and it creates thought.
Yeah.
Is they think in some ways Sankey's biggest failure, if you want to put it on Sankey or put it on whoever the hell you want to put it on, is that the SEC actually got undervalued in the TV negotiations. And that was the critical error, that the money should have been even higher.
Yeah.
Because and again, I'm quoting the stat from the message board. I don't know. I'll look it up if you want me to, whatever. The SEC had either 72 or 74, ESPN had either 72 or 74 of the top 100 college football telecasts this past football season. Clearly, the overwhelming majority of that, the SEC.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, the gap should have been wider between the SEC and other entities at that point.
And I think that's a fair criticism. You posted something about the NFL and CBS and 2030 and
NFL getting on CBS, pushing Paramount right now.
And if you're CBS, you look at it and go, what's it worth? Is it worth another $1 billion?
Well, the NFL has the ultimate leverage of essentially CBS can't fall out of it no matter what the hell it costs.
Right.
That's where the NFL is such a different level of power play to some extent. Although I could argue that the ESPN, and now they're a huge corporate partner, clearly, the SEC is almost there too, simply because you've got to put something on. And if you don't have that, your advertising numbers are going to squat at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the answer for CBS/Paramount is, here's the other $1 billion.
Mm-hmm. And it sucks. And
because we can't take the risk of not having the NFL, because we don't have the NFL. I mean,
we're probably getting screwed, but okay.
People aren't going to watch. Because they're sure not going to watch Texas Lonesome Ranger or whatever they call it. I mean,
I see that Chuck Norris reference there. Good. Look at you. Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah, you knew what I meant.
I did, yeah.
On Sundays, people in America watch professional football. So you run the risk, if you don't have it, well, then they're not watching you on Sunday.
There's a reason ESPN puts on essentially the Ocho at noon on Sunday, because they know nobody's watching, so go ahead and just throw some programming on and don't put anything on that we care about anybody watching.
100%.
It's bowling or billiards or cornhole.
But they make sure they have a highlight show ready to roll.
No doubt. Ready to go.
And they do lots of pregame that morning, hours and hours and hours of NFL pregame. There's a reason for that. Think about it. On Sunday mornings, ESPN's launching into full NFL no later than 8 a.m.
They are.
On a morning after a day full of college football. And ESPN's big on college football. But they turn the freaking page.
They do that late game day Sports Center show and then
NFL.
Boom.
And they're all NFL because it works. So, they answer. If I'm sitting in the room in CBS when someone goes, well, we don't even know if we have another $1 billion, find it.
Got something else. I don't care.
I mean, because if you don't have a foothold on the NFL,
mm-hmm.
and it goes to Netflix or Amazon or whoever, you might never
Fox and NBC.
You might never get it back. And if you don't ever get it back, you might just kind of go under. It's very valuable.
Yeah.
So I don't know but the whole point of this is, I mean, I get what people say. Look, I was watching some of the tournament the other day. The venues, did you see Oklahoma City? I mean, the venue for the Nebraska-Vanderbilt game, that place was jam-packed. I've been in that arena a lot. You could tell by how loud that arena was. It was completely full.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
High Point flew tons of people across the country to Portland for their games against Wisconsin and Arkansas. That arena was pretty full. You had Portland, Oregon, you had High Point and Arkansas, and the arena was pretty full. I mean, so it's more than just TV ratings. It's the national conversation. I get why people are concerned about the future of intercollegiate athletics and the continuing rising cost of what it takes to do it. I'm just not so sure that I buy the it's not healthy argument. And y'all could be right. I mean, I could look up in 2 years and go, holy man, I mean, I was an idiot. Sure, won't be the first time, but
no.
I'm not sure I buy it. I'm really not. I mean, I covered 3 college football playoff games. One in Oxford, Mississippi that set a stadium record. One in New Orleans that was just completely packed. The whole town was packed with not just Ole Miss people. Ole Miss traveled massive amounts, but Georgia did too, and people were saying all the Georgia people were saving up for the next week. And before you criticize that as, well, you shouldn't. Well, of course, a lot of people can't afford 2 trips like that. So, they were saving up for Arizona, and as it was, Arizona was full.
Yeah.
And that was 2 teams from one from the East Coast and one from the Southeast on January the 8th in suburban Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And it was full. So I know the Orange Bowl wasn't full. There was a couple of outliers, but the on-campus games everywhere were packed.
Yeah.
I mean, Norman was packed, right? Didn't they have a game?
Yeah, Alabama.
It was full.
Yeah, it was Bama, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I buy it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Couple things in the stream I want to get to after the first breaks. We'll do that. You guys with some pretty good conversations this morning. Before we do that, I'll tell you about AnySpark, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available. Whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends, they offer both residential and business packages with speeds up to 2 gigabits. To learn more, register for service. That's AnySpark.com. AnySpark, get connected, stay local.
Ole Miss had a great portal season. You can too. Do you have an old IRA or 401k with the former employer? Is that money stuck with a bad team, not living up to its full potential? Put that account in the transfer portal. Let a fellow Rebel professionally manage it for you. Andrew Seago Wealth Management will build a playoff caliber portfolio just for you. Book a quick discovery call today at rebelsretire.com or 901-482-2676. Maybe you need tax savings strategies or retirement income planning. That's what they do every day. So give them a call at 901-482-2676 or book a discovery call online at rebelsretire.com. I'll have a mailbag to you tomorrow at Rebels 24/7. That's brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask him out. 612-805-5929 or email art at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com. Also brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, but same great people, products, and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, South Haven, Memphis, those areas, call our friends at Southern, 662-429-4429. And we're presented by ENT Physicians of North Mississippi. As the largest private ENT practice in the state, their goal is simple: delivering fast, expert, comprehensive care for patients of all ages with ENT, allergy, sinus, dizziness, balance, and voice-related needs. With same-day or next-day appointments with ENT urgent care for that annoying cough or sore throat, in-office CT scans, and same-day allergy testing, and access to their comprehensive audiology team, offering a full range of services from hearing aids and custom hearing protection to potential surgical options. ENT Physicians of North Mississippi are committed to removing barriers to care. They now have new locations in New Albany and Starkville, in addition to Tupelo, Corinth, and more. Get more details at entnorthmississippi.com or call 662-844-6513.
Podcast is brought to you by Chicory Market, chicorymarket.com, located there on North Lamar in the Midtown Shopping Center in Oxford. They, again, now are supporting a lot of Ole Miss student athletes with Red Card, the ability for Ole Miss football players and other sports to use their discretionary expenses on food there at Chicory, where they have great vegetables, meat, fruit, produce, dry goods, and plenty more available. They can be your stop for just setting up your Airbnbs, your Verbos when you come in for baseball weekends, double-decker, graduation not too far away, or just simply for local shopping here in Oxford at Chicory. Again, that's chicorymarket.com to see all their events and specials and more coming up each week. I texted with Duce McAllister a little this morning, obviously, about yesterday. He says he plans to release something today. So just, again, no idea, but that was his response when I asked him about it this morning. So I will allow him to say something, and I will believe 100% whatever he says. That is where I stand on the subject.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I mean,
it's the internet, but I think speculating on his intentions is a problematic approach.
Well, yeah, I mean,
there's a lot there.
I mean, I'm 9 weeks away from being burned on this, so I don't know. I mean, sometimes people have things going on, and sometimes you're not thinking about.
Yes, that's my ultimate guess. There was no. I would be stunned beyond belief if he had thought on the subject and then went, "Nope, we're going to do this and stick it." Like, I just can't even comprehend that being a thought.
Like I told you, it's conceivable that he was there with his son, and that his son had a great visit.
Yeah,
I mean, could be nothing but things felt good. Maybe there was an offer. Maybe there was a great conversation. I don't know. It's one of those deals. I sort of watched that yesterday and shouldn't have been stunned by some of the vitriol, but I guess I kind of was. It was a maybe I'm out of touch moment.
Yeah, again, I think PR-wise, it was incredibly misguided. There's no doubt about that, given the entire context of everything. But I'm not going to let one tweet or one situation change thought or opinion on someone by any stretch of the imagination. So, let's see. Grind, you make a good point. DC Sweet 16 Regional gets Izzo, Hurley, Patino, and Duke. One spot on for the second weekend. It's pretty good there. You got Duke, St. John's, Michigan State, UConn coming up on that weekend.
I mean,
that's one.
That's going to get a monster rating. All of it.
But ticket prices are insane on that.
I mean, you could tell me any of those 4 teams come out of that, I'd buy it.
It is amazing how, and it's real. I mean, it was that case last year with Ole Miss. Just the coaches dictate so much of our interest in college basketball. Because when you see that, I don't even I think about the teams, obviously, and the players, but it's the coaches. Like I find Hurley so entertaining. Like, I enjoy watching UConn. They crack me up. Maybe my biggest draw nationally to a team who I like watching for whatever reason.
I'm very interested to see what happens with North Carolina when the tournament's over.
Is he out, you think?
I mean, my guess is he's out if they can replace him with someone, but there's so much North Carolina talk about. I mean, frankly, it's kind of incestuous, that stay inside the family thing. Because I can think of 2 candidates. If I'm North Carolina, if I can get them, it's done.
Who?
Danny Hurley and Nate Oates. And they're both in the Sweet 16. But if I can get one of them at North Carolina, I'm doing it.
Oates would say yes, right?
I would think.
Hurley, I don't know. Should.
I almost wonder if Hurley would say yes this time around.
Go ahead and just reset it.
I mean, this is part of him wishes he would have taken the Kentucky job.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see your super chat, Wicked Brew. Let me get to it. My bad. There you go. Appreciate you as always. And most days, he says here, important stat to consider: who will win the basketball natty. Duke has never won a national championship in a season where they did not play and beat St. John's. Interesting.
Oh.
90-91, 91-92. 2000, 2001, and 14, 15. They obviously play in the Sweet 16.
I remember when they played non-con a lot back in the Leitner, Bobby Hurley, Grant Hill days.
Yeah, I don't know enough about national college basketball dynamics to rate the UConn job versus the UNC job. I have no clue.
I don't. I just don't know. I mean, there aren't, but I don't know that there's a more prestigious job than North Carolina. There are two or three on the same level, probably Kentucky, Kansas, Duke.
Mm-hmm. It's that. It's those four.
You know, but where the job is today with NIL and all of that, I don't know. Shoes, NIL, agents.
Patino is 73. Somebody's asking that in the stream. Yeah. He's been to the tournament with 6 different teams, I think. I think that's the stat.
I think so. He's phenomenal.
It felt like Bill Self was retiring, right? Or do you think he does one more 2-year increment?
I think he's thinking about it. No, you talk about a great job.
Kansas.
I mean,
there's an argument that's the job.
I don't know how anyone could turn Kansas down.
Somebody says, hell, Patino's got 10 more years. The question was, would he take UNC or would UNC want Rick Pitino?
I mean, you're probably not hiring 73-year-old Rick Pitino, but would he be great at it? Yeah. He feels like he's pretty happy in New York. And I mean, that's home. And
got a pretty good setup there.
He's done a great job.
Well, and look, those basketball first institutions that really care, the Big East, look, revenue sharing is a real thing, bud. Like, you got money.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to put a roster together. You don't have to deal with football. And not even the money aspect. I think it's probably the one thing that people don't talk about enough when we do have the beard conversation or anything else is just the positives that go with being at a basketball first institution where there's not a top flight football program that's siphoning off everything, the oxygen, the resources, the money, like it literally everything goes like St. John's. There's no football. There's not like, oh, hey, whatever. No, you are the game in freaking town.
Yeah.
And you're competing against a ton of universities that aren't. Now, you don't get the revenue football brings in. Like, so your monetary situations overall are far different. But whatever you do have, it's yours.
Yeah.
Completely yours. Like, I mean, that's a draw. Just from a day-to-day mentality standpoint, I feel like.
Yeah, I think for some guys it certainly would be. Now, there's other guys that like being at places. Dusty,
that are well-rounded.
Dusty May is one.
Yeah.
He thinks that you're better off at a place that's got a big football program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's positives.
You know, I don't know. I think every situation's unique, and in this environment, every situation can change kind of rapidly. And then look, I mean, we don't know, not to get back on this topic at all, but
yep,
if you and Siski are right about the CSC and I'm wrong, who knows where everything might reset another time when suddenly you can't get NIL deals through and the money truly changes. Because so far the money hasn't changed. It's just grown every year. Like everything I'm hearing from basketball people is the college basketball market right now is more expensive than the one last year, and the one last year was sticker shock.
Doesn't that have to hit
I think
where does it come from at some point?
Well, but that's my point is if you have to truly justify every NIL deal and there's going to be some sort of governing body that can come in and punish you for cheating, it will change. Now, I don't think either of those things happen.
Grind. Arkansas's made the Sweet 16 5 out of 6 years with 2 different coaches and both having consecutive appearances, while UK only has 1 Sweet 16 appearance in that same time span. Cal at UK, 0 Sweet 16s. First 2 years at Arkansas, 2 Sweet 16s.
Yeah.
Kentucky's got all the resources in the world. It's also the biggest meat grinder in college sports, period.
It is. I mean, look, I was around Cal last week.
He said he looked refreshed.
He looked younger. The Arkansas job's not the meat grinder that Kentucky is.
God, no.
I mean, if Arkansas loses on Thursday, and it probably will, no one's going to be upset at Cal.
Good year. Good job.
Everyone up
won
there
the
is
SEC
gonna,
tournament,
yeah, sure.
Sweet 16.
Sure.
National awareness.
He's got the Tyson money.
Good.
He's got a bunch of donors that are starting to buy into what they're doing up there. They have a massive corporate presence in Northwest Arkansas that only grows. They're selling tickets. They'll have no ticket issues. Their ticket issue is that they're starting to price out some of their longtime fans. But I mean, that's a modern first world problem. I mean, it sucks, but
yeah,
you know, it is what it is. And look, Cal has a reputation in the basketball world as a great developer of guards, and he brought in a kid this year that wasn't considered a lottery pick and is now getting talk about being a high lottery pick in Acuff, and he's got another national kid coming in. I mean, I'd rather be John Calipari than Mark Pope right now.
Oh, amen there. I don't see how Pope has more than one more year if he doesn't make maybe at least the Sweet 16. I know some Kentucky people, and good God.
The interesting thing, you know, we did this with a different sport that I won't talk about because I don't feel like it, but if we did this with basketball, if you asked 100 college basketball coaches, you can be the coach at Arkansas or the coach at Kentucky, the split would be fascinating. I think Kentucky would win, but I don't think it would be anywhere close to 90-10.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, you still are a human. You got to live.
Yeah, well, I mean, expectations
And it's
matter.
not like Arkansas is broke. I mean, they're giving plenty of money to Cal, for God's sake.
No, they're not broke at all.
Triple Mass says Iowa's coach, next star of college basketball coaching, done one hell of a job. Drake and now this Hawkeye team.
I watched him coach in person in November. He's impressive.
I mean, you made the point. I don't think we talked about it actually in the actual show yesterday. I think you made the point before we hit the button was the continuity is what you're seeing across college basketball. Because everybody goes, Iowa's new. No, they're not. They're Drake's team.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the point. It's their team. They're back.
Purdue has a ton of continuity. Arizona has a lot of continuity.
Will, thank you for the super chats. Thank y'all for everything. Been really helpful these past few days. I saw a few of your posts yesterday. Thinking about you, bud. Send us some emails if you need anything, help out with anything. So thanks to you. I'm gonna go to see. We got a few minutes here. Just real quick, we'll probably stay on basketball a little bit as time goes on because it seems like what you guys want to talk about, but I'm going to forget it otherwise because people like me to at least mention something. Again, baseball tonight, that is at FedEx Park is what they're calling their facility now. I was having a hard time for a second remembering the name of it. Used to be Nat Buring before they had a pretty good renovation. I will give them that. They've done a nice job there at Memphis with that situation. Again, Olin Kelly getting the start. I'm assuming he's on some level of pitch count just because he's thrown a lot of days in like the last week. He pitched twice over the weekend and started a midweek last week, I think, if that's right. So I have a hard time buying that he's going to throw a ton tonight. Here's the truth. Memphis is not a good team. They are 6-16 overall.
Oof.
They lost their first series to Tulane in New Orleans in the American. They lost 2 out of 3 to Eastern Illinois. They got swept by Missouri State. They got swept by Jacksonville State. They lost all 3 at home to Ohio State and Louisiana Tech. They lost to Little Rock. They lost to Toledo. It's bad. So here's your goal. They're going to be an RPI hit if you lose this game. You're at least going to lose a spot or 2 by the end of the year. I don't care about the RPI right now. It makes my eyes glaze over. It's too early. It's propaganda. But Ole Miss has a hell of a situation from a schedule standpoint where if they win it all, their RPI is going to be great at the end of the year. I don't care. It's great.
I'm not sure Ole Miss can do a whole lot other than just go belly up, which I don't think this team's capable of.
15-15 is going to look really damn good metrically.
They're going to host at 15-15.
I think they can host at 15, yes.
I'll go stronger than that.
Yeah.
They will host at 15-15.
Because they're going to have like a top 8 RPI.
If you just look at the numbers,
yeah,
the numbers are what the numbers are.
Because to get to 15, you're not doing nothing but beating quality programs all the way down the damn list. So, again, I think Alabama is the only team they play that's not like in the top 25 or something.
I'll go one further.
Okay.
And I've really looked at this. I've watched a lot of these teams.
Yep.
I think the only thing that would prevent them from hosting at 14 and 16 is optics. And I think the optics would be bad, right? From a committee standpoint.
Yeah, I get that.
But from a metrics standpoint, I think they would have host numbers. At 15 and 15, they will host.
It was all running together, by the way, though. Drew corrected me in the stream. It was last weekend that he threw twice in a really short period of time. He did not throw against Kentucky. I had my weekends mixed up in my head if we were watching it. So, yeah, I think give you 5. And that makes to the point. I think you see Cipolo tonight. You're obviously going to see Kelly. My overarching thing here is play clean, win the game, and don't use a single freaking arm that you might need this weekend, whatever it takes.
No, because the games this weekend are more important than this game.
This is the deal where if you're Mike, you either leave at home or you tell Taylor Rabe not to bring spikes because you just don't get into some situation where you need Landon Waters even. And I think he's the one where Mike will pitch late in this game if it's close. And I'm like, Mike, no, just stop. Like, quit. It's not.
No, I mean, no. I mean, the games this weekend are more important. The way that sport is set up, it just is what it is. Yeah. And the games on the weekend are far more important from a what happens to you in the postseason standpoint.
But metrically, because they're so bad, it is a game you need to win. This does not need to be the midweek that you drop just because they are horrid.
No.
I mean, they're going to be outside the top, probably 200 by the time it's over.
And they probably won't.
You just win the game. Hit a couple balls out of the ballpark. Play clean. Don't make a bunch of errors. Yeah, Ole Miss is 5 in the RPI at the moment.
Yep.
Teams they played are 1, 2, and 3, or will play are 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Well, and there's probably not anybody they're going to play that's
a dog.
That's outside of the 25 or so.
Memphis is 177. Currently, they are now. Look, this is why the RPI. It's not time to even look at it. Is that Vanderbilt is 178 right now, and that means the Commodores have sucked. Don't get me wrong, relative to what they expect to be. However, they have 8 weeks of SEC play that's just going to pull that number up because there's nothing else you can do. Every time you win a game, you're beating some top 50, top 30, top 10 team.
Yeah.
So that's where
like Wicked points out LSU's 109. They're
it will come up.
They're not going to stay there.
No. I think Missouri State's still in like the top 20. It's because they played Ole Miss 3 times. They're not going to maintain in that location. I mean, it says Bianco needs to figure out how to cancel the Alcorn and UT Martin games ASAP. I do think if you have it's credit to Mike, or at least not credit, but in his defense, it's a regional sport, and you just play who's in your region. Sometimes it's hard to get Tuesday games. These teams are getting back at 2 a.m. You're not flying teams in for Tuesday games.
And those games aren't held against you.
No, but
they're just not.
Outside of the Arkansas State game in 2022. But it's just a deal where you hope that the team is not a complete dog close to 300 in the RPI, and you do your best, and it is what it is. I do think they could do a little bit better regional scheduling, is my point, where you could avoid the multiple SWAC games or some things like that, where it's like, just play Memphis again or play Arkansas State. I think that's one of their biggest negatives, and it's probably because, I don't know this, it's probably something to do with the scar tissue of that 2022. They don't play Arkansas State in Jonesboro anymore. And that's actually a game that isn't going to kill you. That's one you ought to bring back.
This year it would have been a healthy game.
It would have, yeah. That coach has done a hell of a job in short order. He's been very good. I don't even know his name, but he's been very good. All right. I feel like I had one more thought there, but maybe I did not. Oh, I was just going to say, sounds like from a regular season standpoint, maybe some of the bigger crowds you've seen in a long time this weekend. It seems like State's going to bring people. They're obviously very excited about their team. They're very good. And
they passed the eye test.
They do. They passed the eye test. They have really pitched. Now, I have not, maybe it has been out there. I have not seen it. They were kind of waiting on an update on McPherson, their ace. He He had, injury update 2 days ago. He's still being evaluated he underwent an MRI. I have not seen an update there.
I don't know.
I'm supposed to talk to Brian Haydad for his show this afternoon. I'll pass along anything that he references regarding that. But that would be clear blow. I mean, with all
And if you're Mississippi State, if there's any doubts at all, you don't pitch him.
So you possibly could miss McPherson, to the best of my knowledge, at 8:59 on Tuesday morning. And I expect if you're Ole Miss people and you got any scar tissue, probably going to get some retrospectives from the state beat regarding Brian O'Connor's history against Ole Miss, which is very pro Virginia.
Sure.
So that'll be coming out later in the week, I would assume, because I think, if you look back at his history against the Rebels, obviously their first time in Omaha at Virginia was through the 2009 Ole Miss team, the error in the 8th inning and all that stuff, and eliminating an Ole Miss team that won the SEC on its home field. And then in 2014, Mike Pappy hits that double off the wall or where it was late in the game of the College World Series, and I fully believe the winner of that Virginia-Ole Miss game in Game 1 was going to play Vanderbilt for the national title in 2014. Ole Miss ends up eliminating TCU and Texas Tech, other way around, but whatever. Texas Tech and then TCU, and falling to Virginia in the semifinals there of the College World Series in 2014. So that's O'Connor's history with the Rebels. He also won the regional in 2010 at home that Ole Miss was at. Ole Miss went back up there in 2010. Ole Miss bowing out to St. John's in the game to get back to Virginia. So Ole Miss beat St. John's, lost to Virginia, then lost to St. John's in that regional.
And Patino, he's something else.
They were a decent offensive club. If I remember this correctly, it shows you when you're out of pitching, and a lot of those Ole Miss teams through that era really did not have a lot of pitching depth, was Ole Miss hit a grand slam. If I have this right, Ole Miss hit a grand slam in the 9th inning and lost 20-16.
No.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened in that game.
Boy, it was 4.5 hours.
We were there for a minute.
Yeah.
When you're trying to get on the road, because we drove to Charlottesville, it's like, well, okay, now you can try to get halfway, do whatever you're doing, and oh boy. Because we're trying to get back because Drew was getting drafted in the top 5 like the next day or whatever it was. So there was like a time thing to get back to. They had some sort of watch party for him following that. So, yeah. All right. Podcast brought to you in part by The Firm. Does your home and auto insurance keep going up? With the folks at The Firm, proud Liberty Mutual and Safeco Insurance agency partner. Take a look. Founded by Ole Miss alum Brian Hayden, they service the entire Southeastern Conference. Let the team of licensed professionals review your insurance needs, put together coverages to protect you and your family without breaking the bank. Schedule a consultation by calling 662-236-1101 or emailing staff@thefirmsouth.com.
We are brought to you by Arnett's Fine Jewelry. It's a 4th-generation jeweler located in the old Lamons Building, North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. They offer expert jewelry repair, diamond engagement rings, wedding bands, stackable diamonds, much, much more. Basically, whatever you're looking for in jewelry, they've got it, and they've got it great at Arnett's. It's a wonderful place for gifts, graduations, birthdays, anniversaries, and more. At Arnett's, they want to be your jeweler. We mentioned the Mississippi State Series in Oxford this weekend. If you're coming up for that, you should stop by the College Corner. We've got the best Rebel gear in Oxford, more than 4,000 square feet of it. You don't have to fight the traffic on the square or Jackson Avenue. Instead, you can just go to their location in Oxford, right across from Chick-fil-A there off Sisk. They've got all the brands that you know and love. Nike, Horn Legend, Champion, Antigua, just to name a few. You can also go to collegecornerstore.com. And if you're getting stocked up for the outfield, always recommend Coors Banquet. Since its inception in 1873, Coors Banquet's been brewed in the same tradition of the original 150-year-old recipe. Banquet is crafted with 100% Rocky Mountain water, so when you're enjoying a banquet, you are drinking history. And we're brought to you by Argent Wealth. When you work with Argent Wealth's 401k advisory services, you gain a valuable advisory team and time-saving resource that will help you develop and maintain a solid strategy for your retirement plan. They're committed to providing you with the personalized attention and involvement that you want and need. Their goal is to help you manage your 401k plan properly and ultimately improve your employees' retirement readiness. It's myargentwealth.com.
Podcast is brought to you by Horn Legend, hornlegend.com. They sponsor my Around the Horn feature every single Thursday. They got your sports shirts, your polos, and get you ready for the spring and the summer. Still some lightweight hoodies and things. You can wear those with shorts, though. Look at through their different collection of those options. And again, tons of new polos available for you there at Horn Legend, and a couple different ways to get some free gear as well. Still maybe time to get those vests before it will need it again. Those for men and women, jackets, men and women, and much more. Again, that's hornlegend.com. Stream asking Ole Miss's expectations. I mean, get in the tournament. Just get in and then see what happens. You want to play at home. I mean, I think some of the – I'm not getting into a deeper baseball conversation right now, but I mean, obviously you need to play home games if at all possible for a lot of different reasons there, but – the way Ole Miss is set up, and we talked about it yesterday, so I'm going to be very, very quick in like 20 seconds here, is that they can win home or away, and they're so volatile that it's going to depend on just simply how they are playing in that moment, and they have the pitching to make it happen. So just get in, and then go figure it out. It'll be all right.
And that applies to about 8 SEC teams.
They could get through a home regional and a home super regional, and they could go to Florida State and win over there too. So I don't know. I just made up a team. I don't know.
I mean, they lost last year because they just booted some balls in the field. Was it? Happens.
Yeah. I mean, Wicked says home regionals have been a death knell. Yes and no. I mean, yes, have they lost some of them, but they won a lot too.
I don't know that now teams get tighter and stuff. I just think.
I mean,
just think kids play.
They lost a weird regional to Murray State last year. Before that, their last regional loss was Tennessee Tech. That was a bad one, obviously. But a lot of stuff was going on.
But they've won a national championship since then.
They have.
The pressure's off.
And then 16. So they won in 19, 21. Yeah. And Cade Townsend is not going to have a worse appearance because Ole Miss lost to Utah and Tulane in 2016 in a regional. It's not going to.
He couldn't possibly care less.
I bet he doesn't know. But he's unaware.
And
could not care less.
Yes.
Yes, both. I think that's valid.
That will not be the reason that they win or lose a regional.
No.
Look, you have really
You guys weren't tight last year, fans. Y'all had been tight in home regionals. Oh, my God. I mean, I felt it.
And the team wasn't tight.
No, they just lost.
They just lost. The other team played really, really well and made some big plays in the outfield, and Ole Miss didn't.
I mean, hell, your best inning from an environment standpoint was the 9th when you needed a run and Hunter came in and got those 3 outs. That was your most football-like moment of the entire weekend, and you were behind at that point.
I didn't think those outs were by people being tight. I thought maybe a couple guys swung for the fences.
Yeah, trying to hit it. Okay, I had up the over-unders a second ago, and I may have closed the tab for some reason, which is really bad.
SEC regular season over-unders.
Here it is. I got it. Okay.
From FanDuel.
That is correct. They're from FanDuel. They went up on Friday, I believe, last week. We're not going to do the get the schedule out thing here, but we'll just quickly go over them. 9.5 is the highest you have. That's new. Usually there's at least one with 10.5. Georgia, Alabama in the past. Look, there are extra losses on the schedule.
I was talking to someone in Nashville. Someone in Nashville goes, hey, man, someone's got to lose those games. The extra game, someone's got to lose it. That's the way that works.
Nine and a half, the highest you've got here.
Georgia, right?
In Texas.
Right? Yeah.
Texas and Georgia at 9.5. They're okay. Ole Miss plays both of them. Be aware of that as we go through this. The schedule is not kind.
I mean, Ole Miss is over under 7.5, and I've already heard some people kind of diving into the disrespect thing. And I'm like, nope, that's not it. But you replaced one non-con, Arkansas and Kentucky, with Missouri, Louisville,
Auburn.
Auburn, Missouri, and who else? Texas.
And Texas.
At Texas.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this, probably piss some people off, but this time a year ago, there were media outlets that I'm aware of that were hyping up Austin Simmons as an all-SEC quarterback. if that's the case, if you actually believed it then you still believe it now, and if that's the case, then Missouri won't be a pushover in Oxford.
Yeah, the quick refresher on Ole Miss's schedule: Louisville, Charlotte, Nashville at home, LSU at home, at Florida. We talked about that yesterday. Bye week, at Vanderbilt. I think they're way down. Missouri at home, at Texas, Auburn at home, Georgia at home, at Oklahoma, Wofford, Mississippi State. That's the schedule for 2026 for Ole Miss. So just, again, quick refresher there. Alabama, Texas A&M, and LSU are at 8.5. Okay. You can make all your A&M jokes. We'll see what Lane does. Bama is in a really weird spot with Kellen DeBoer right now. I think this is relevant too. I mean, he mentioned no disrespect. Exactly right. It's not about respect or disrespect. I think lines. It's very important to take a second. Lines is for the national public to have a view of a team and then try to set a middle ground where you'll get the same number of bets on both sides.
Yeah.
It is not even a prediction. It's not what Vegas thinks is going to happen. It is taking advantage of what they believe to be the public perception of these programs and set it in a place where they will get relatively equal numbers on both sides of the coin. That is what they are trying to do.
Yeah.
For Ole Miss, they're partly at 7.5 because from the national public, they don't know crap about the Ole Miss roster. They know they lost a coach that was really successful. He went to LSU, so they're going to fall off, period.
And
that's where it's
and the schedule's more difficult.
You're right, yes. That's it.
And Golding's an unknown, relatively.
Yes.
And so, they're going to gamble that that national people will jump on the under.
That's why A&M goes under every damn year, because the perception of them is higher than they end up finishing most years.
Yeah. And you have a lot of people that are Texas A&M fans that will bet the over sentimentally.
Yeah. Oklahoma is with Ole Miss at 7.5. That's where they are sitting.
And their schedule's brutal.
Because it's the same one from last year.
Yeah, it's. I mean, my initial thought on Ole Miss is I would go over, probably without giving it a hell of a lot of thought. But if I'm being honest, the risk of getting people calling me negative here, if the gods dropped in and said they go 7-5, I'd go, I can see it. Just schedule alone, I'd be like, okay. I get how that happens. I think they're going to be too good at quarterback for that. And when I do this, I assume that every team stays completely healthy, which doesn't happen, but there's no way to guess who's going to get hurt. So if everyone stayed completely healthy across the country, my guess is that, look, I worry a little bit about replacing the receiving core.
Yeah. That's not an automatic.
That's Stribling, Harrison, Caden Lee, Daquan Wright, Winston Watkins. There's a lot that walked out the door.
Because you're getting lulled a little bit because they did such a good job of doing it last year that there's just an expectation and that, hey, you're going to do it again.
Sure.
And I do like some of the pieces, but they got to happen.
I think they'll be better on defense. And they were pretty good last year. I think they'll be better on defense. I'm not probably as worried about the offensive tackle thing as other people. I think they'll probably figure it out. I think Daquan's a big loss because he played a lot of really important football for 2 years. And Luke Haas, when he's healthy, is a very good SEC tight end. But at two places now, Arkansas and Ole Miss, he's had a hard time staying healthy. So going, okay, well, he's going to be healthy is a little Pollyanna-ish. But I think Ole Miss is probably too talented to lose 5 games. But I could see why, if you're Vegas, to a national audience, you'd set it right there. Because Kiffin's gone. And nationally, a lot of people go, well, they can't win without Kiffin. And they don't know Golding other than 3 games. So I get it.
Now,
and the schedule's a potential bitch, man. I mean that schedule's hard. And there's a world where it falls apart fast. But you say you lose to LSU at home, and then the next week you have a hangover and a letdown, and you lose again. And Gonna be tough now.
If you told me Ole Miss or Oklahoma easily goes over, I do pick Ole Miss because that Oklahoma schedule is even tougher. I'm looking at it now, and
It's brutal.
and they have a worse quarterback situation.
Yep.
Michigan on the road in Ann Arbor. It's not a nothing.
No,
for damn sure.
It's probably a coin toss.
At Georgia. So they're in the same situation. They could be 0-2 by September 26th.
Yeah.
And then have to deal with a bye week before you play Texas.
Yep.
It just gets all screwed up real quick.
Weird fast, yeah.
Texas in the Cotton Bowl. Get a pretty good 3-game break to an extent, as much as you can get one in the SEC. They got Kentucky State and South Carolina in a row.
Okay.
It's hard to get better than that.
So you got a chance to get well.
But then, at Florida, Ole Miss, A&M, at Missouri. Buckle up.
Yeah. That's kind of my – it's the thing I'm most interested in terms of SEC storylines is how is the committee going to view a 9-3 SEC team?
And we don't know.
And I don't know.
We have no idea of that.
There's no reference point at all. There's no data points on it. Zero. So when people do it, and they'll do it, well, the committee's going to do this. You're guessing. One way or the other. You don't know. How do you know? There's no sample size at all. None. Which is disconcerting to coaches. I can tell you that. It's disconcerting to athletics directors. There's no one knows how the committee will treat a 9-3 SEC team because they've never had to do that.
And I will agree with George's stream at this point. I mean, one of the main reasons I like Ole Miss at over 7-5 because 7.5. That's such a relatively to Ole Miss's current situation small number is that means you win no major games, or you get popped in a couple upsets. Like because you just getting to 5 is that's a lot of losses in a way. Like that's a weird.
I agree. I do this just to play devil's advocate.
Yeah,
I have a feeling that there's a couple of 3 of those games that we're not referring to as major games. We're kind of assuming a little bit, and
But I guess I'm assuming the other way too. Somebody's not going to be quite as good. You get them at home, and then it kind of plays out.
For example, I look at the trip to Florida as a challenging game.
Yeah, because if you beat Louisville and Ole Miss is 11 points on the. Is that right? Was it 11.5?
I don't think it was. No, I think it was 8.5.
Is it 8.5?
Hold on.
Okay,
I'll find it.
Okay. Ole Miss more than a touchdown favored against Louisville in the opener while he's looking for it. So, say you win that game. To get to 5,
Ole Miss is an 8.5 point favorite right now against.
I mean,
Louisville.
to get to 5, you're talking in some world LSU, Florida, Georgia, Texas, and either Missouri or Auburn or Oklahoma. Sorry. So the most likely to get to 5 at that point would be losing all of LSU, Florida, Georgia, Oklahoma, Texas.
Trinidad Chambliss, by the way, has the third best odds for the Heisman, behind Arch Manning and C.J. Carr, and just ahead of Julian Sayin, Josh Hoover, and Dante Moore. You can get Trinidad Chambliss at plus 1,000 to win the Heisman. You can get I'm making sure I'm reading this right.
Yeah, you're good.
You can get Arch Manning at plus 800. You can get C.J. Carr at plus 800. You can get Julian Sayin, Josh Hoover, and Dante Moore at plus 1,200. Conference championship odds, SEC, Texas is plus 300. Georgia's plus 390. LSU is plus 600. Texas A&M is plus 800. Alabama's plus 850. And you can get Ole Miss at plus 1,000. If you're looking for anyone else, Oklahoma's 1,200. Florida's plus 2,000. So is Tennessee. So is Missouri. Missouri's plus 3,000. Auburn's plus 4,000. Ole Miss plays Vanderbilt this year. It's plus 8,000 for the Doors. The Rebels play Mississippi State. They're plus 20,000. If you want to bet on Mississippi State to win the national title, you can put $10 on that and walk away quite the winner. If you're looking for national championship odds, Ohio State is plus 550.
Mm-hmm.
Texas is plus 750 to win the national title. Georgia's plus 1,000. LSU is plus 1,500. A&M is plus 1,900. You can get Ole Miss at plus 2,500 to win the national championship.
Okay.
Oklahoma is plus 3,000. So they view Ole Miss and Oklahoma very similarly in Vegas.
Yes. Both teams made the playoff last year. Both teams won at least a game. Who beat Oklahoma? Who knocked them out? I don't remember.
Bama.
Indiana. Oh, Bama won the game? Yeah, then now Indiana beat Bama. Sorry, that's
Like a
right.
draw.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, my bad. ESPN just reported, per Wicked Brew, that Acuff has signed a signature shoe deal with Reebok. First person ever to sign one as a college athlete. That news going across ESPN this morning. I'm not shocked.
No, good for him. Seems like a great kid.
Yeah, I like Ole Miss at corner. They're talking about it in the stream a lot. You got Kite back. They love the Crawford kid. I think they're okay there. I mean, it's left tackle receiver. Pass catchers, however you want to phrase it. That's where I'm at. I do think the defense is better overall.
Yeah, I do too.
I do. I mean, you're, again, counting on some of the portal guys. They've got to be what you think. Because, look, Prince will turned into a really good player by the end, but, like, you were counting on Deshaun Womack, and that did not work at all.
No.
It did nothing. So you're kind of putting, a certain amount of scrap percentage, if you will, in it. Not everything's going to click, but
no,
you're do it for anybody. Though.
You're not going to bat 1,000 in the portal. No one is.
No. Heck no.
No, you'll have bust in the portal. You can bet on that. But so will everyone else.
That's the key. Yes.
And you don't look. I mean, let's not do this thing, not you and me, just in general, where everyone acts like the great expert. Because nobody in June was talking about Trinidad Shambles. Frankly, nobody was talking about Kewan Lacey the way that, I mean, he'd had a good spring, and people were pretty excited about him. And Kiffin was laying some hints that, hey, this kid might be special. But I don't know that anybody was going, hey, Kewan Lacey's going to be the best running back in the country. But there were people who were saying that, hey, it's a travesty that Austin Simmons is not getting preseason All-SEC votes.
I was in Atlanta for it.
Just pointing that out.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote in 10 Thoughts, and I'll reiterate it here. I'm going this spring, because we're going to get very limited access from football. I'm just going to go.
Yeah, we've been told that.
I'm going to go with the word said. Here's what they said. And if it comes to fruition, great. And if it doesn't, well, they said it.
Mm-hmm. Take our final break now and tell you about the Jackson Graber Group with GMFS Mortgage. That's John Graber. Help all home buyers with first home, new construction, refinances. He's great in the condo financing market. That's a little different. Need an expert, and he is one of those. Graduated from Oxford High, Ole Miss alum, local in-house processing, underwriting, servicing, and more. So you know the people taking your loan to completion and getting you the help you need there with GMFS. So whether you're buying a home, refinancing, or just have questions, GMFSmortgage.com/JGG 662-762-4502.
We're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. John's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners. It allows him to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. If you are trying to make a special trip, one that creates a lifetime of unique memories, get in touch with John. Let him give you some options. All you have to do is give him a budget. That's important. Give him some parameters, and then sit back. He'll give you options that you probably won't find on your own. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself at corinthdental.com.
Podcast also brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area. And offer MedSync to fill your prescriptions the same time each month and take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery. You have everything you need when you need it with GNM. So again, in Oxford, that's 662-236-2222. Give me 1 second real quick.
You're good.
Just complaining about something real quick. All right, good. All right.
Florida and Tennessee, by the way. Florida's a 5,000 plus 5,000 to win the national title. Tennessee is plus 6, as is Missouri, plus 6. Notre Dame is plus 750.
Has Jerry McNamara been hired at Syracuse now? Is that
I think that's correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of wonder if they have another gear in them or if they just kind of are what they are and that era is over after Boeheim at this point.
Yeah, I'd have to know how their NIL
I know
works.
nothing about any of that other than they
know.
have the Alex Klein kid as their GM. Because I think I still follow him on Twitter, so I see some Syracuse stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What used to be the Wonderkin there, and then gets a little older now, but worked for Rivals for a little while.
He did.
Yeah.
We were told to kiss his ass.
Oh, we were, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the skies opening up and dropping down into...
you guys just don't know the company you are being blessed with right now.
That's right.
Basketball Jesus is here.
Kyle Tucker has done a phenomenal job to date, though, which is not a shock. I'll give him some love there on 24/7. He's very good. He's excellent.
Got the Kentucky people pissed off.
It doesn't take much.
Just breathe.
Because they're so high strung right now that either direction is going to piss them off. So there's no way to make them happy.
Patino's in the Sweet 16. Calipari's in the Sweet 16. Hell, Tubby Smith might be in the Sweet 16.
Tubby Smith. Basketball portal still 2 weeks away from opening. April 7th is when that takes hold. The Rangers told a player during a mound visit he had made the roster last night.
It's a cool video.
Okay, I have not seen that. Also, could not have told you that Skip Schumacher was their manager. I don't think.
Yep.
I'm going to try to follow Major League Baseball more this year. I don't know how well it will work. We'll see, but I'm going to pick 2 teams, and I'm going to try to follow 2 teams. That is my goal, and I think that will give me enough to have a working knowledge. That is where I'm at right now. I am going to for sure follow the Atlanta Braves. I'm going to get back in to whatever degree. I'm not going to be the diehard. I'm not going to whatever, but to whatever degree. I like my friend Ben. I'll listen to him call some games a little bit. We'll have a situation, and then I have not decided. I'm either following the Seattle Mariners or the Boston Red Sox, and I do not know which one yet.
Oh, it's be the Red Sox because the Mariners can play so many games late,
and I will not be up for those.
No, that's easy.
Yeah,
the following a West Coast team is challenging.
I like Seattle for some reason. I don't even know why. The Mariners sort of just functionally in my head, I find myself pulling for them. And then I will pull if they're bad, I don't care enough. If they're at all competitive again, like 2 years ago, I'll follow the Orioles a little bit because I like the Orioles. I want their system to work. Let's put it like that. Yeah. So I will follow the Orioles if they are competitive, but I'm not going to follow the Orioles if they go 62 and 100. They're probably not going to go 62 and 100.
Yeah, I don't know that I have the discipline to follow 2 baseball teams. I will try to follow one. The problem I've got is that I'm so into the NBA that by the time it's over, the baseball season is 2.5 months old, and then it's time for football to start. And there are only so many hours in the day.
That's true. No, it's the problem. I mean, it was the reason I fell out was I would be sort of just tired after baseball season, and that's when Major League's really picking up. You start getting into the middle of summer and everything kind of going toward at least the run there, the race at that point. Mm-hmm. And I go, I just kind of want to get away from it a little bit because.
Well, and then fairness to us, last season you couldn't even get into the baseball postseason because the Kiffin stuff was rolling.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, it just was. Yeah. And people just don't, and I don't mean this as a criticism. People just don't understand how all encompassing that was. absolutely fatiguing. And then there was no time to breathe from it because
the season didn't end until Chambliss got his ruling in Calhoun County.
Yeah.
If you really want to put the note on it, that's when the season ended.
It was fatiguing. I mean, I had someone in the industry say to me yesterday, I'm bored. And I said, you deserve some boredom.
Yeah,
you earned the boredom.
Yeah, you're not digging ditches, but it's just something constantly. There's no day to
No, I'm not
just
complaining.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, just pointing out that it was nonstop. So Bratton asked me, will you miss the Kiffin question? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, tell me how Ole Miss does, but no, I won't miss the every single day obsession, justifiably, with what he was going to do and what he said and what it meant and all of that stuff. No, I won't miss that.
No, he was good for content and he was exhausting at the same time.
100%.
That is 100% what he was. Round 1 in the NFL draft is April 23rd. Somebody asking in the stream. That is when the draft is. So 1 month from yesterday.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct. That is probably double-decker weekend in Oxford.
It is.
I would assume.
It is.
Is baseball home? I don't even know.
Yes. And then they're away the next weekend.
Okay. For some reason, Georgia is in my head for that weekend in baseball. I could be wrong, but that for some reason.
Quick.
I feel like I looked at it at some point. I know LSU is in town the 10th, 11th, and 12th because I have a conflict on the 11th, but that is the only one I have in my head to date.
April the 11th?
That is correct, yes.
I can handle it for you if you need me to. Let's see. Ole Miss baseball schedule. No, I don't need tickets. At State, at home against State this weekend.
Yep. At Florida next weekend.
the next weekend.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday because it's Easter for people.
LSU here April the 10th through the 12th. At Tennessee, April the 17th through the 19th. Home against Georgia, April 24th through the 26th. At Arkansas, May 1st through the 3rd. At home against Texas A&M, May 8th through the 10th. At Alabama, May 14th through the 16th. That's a Thursday, Saturday, and then the tournament.
Yeah, because I was telling you, you got that weird in between with them finishing in Tuscaloosa, whether I try to come back or just stay in the state of Alabama until Tuesday when Ole Miss plays in Hoover.
You should just stay. It's simple.
Just kill 2 days and be over there for stay in Tuscaloosa on Saturday night. Hell, maybe even Sunday night because it'll be cheaper, and then head on over because then you get meteor rate starting Monday at different multiple places.
Go to the Strip.
Go to the Strip.
See what's up.
I don't even know. What are the big restaurants in Tuscaloosa? I don't even know.
I'm not aware.
Baumhauer still have their wing dynasty over there?
I would think
Baumhauer's wings still going well in Tuscaloosa?
It's still in Mobile, so I'm sure.
Is it really?
I'm sure it's in Tuscaloosa, yeah.
I have oddly been there a good bit in Tuscaloosa. Just people I was with wanting to go there, yeah.
It's a solid 7.
It's fine. No.
It's a solid 7 every time.
It's all right.
The people that make fun of those kinds of places, I'm like, man, they've been around for 30 years for a reason. You know what I mean?
Somebody's going.
I mean,
it's easy. You get in. They got some TVs. They got some beer on draft. Got some wings. It's whatever.
Yeah, come on. Everything can't be gourmet.
Yeah, all right.
You're not going to hit a home run there, but you're not striking out either. You're fine.
I just realized that in my head, I can name restaurants at most every SEC campus or whatnot or town, and Tuscaloosa. It's as much as I've been there, it's kind of slipping my mind a little bit. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just not.
I don't like it. That's part of it. I just don't like Tuscaloosa.
I never really did like it, and so now it's been years, and so I feel bad saying it's horrible because I don't know. as a rule, I generally like all the SEC towns
Mhm.
and schools and stuff.
You don't get a normal with basketball to a point, obviously,
Yeah.
but you don't get a real just random weekend unless you do baseball because it's the 2 nights
Yeah.
where you really are sitting there looking at it over 2 or 3 days going, okay, this is what this place
Yeah.
feels in
Yeah.
some way.
Judging a place on football Saturday
That's
is
not fair in any capacity
Yeah.
whatsoever. No. That is the death of restaurants in every SEC campus in the world because they come in for the games and go, let's open this. And you go,
Yeah.
what about the other 358 days a year? What are you doing then, bud?
Yep.
How's that going to go? Good luck.
Yeah, this isn't Tuesday, right? I'm just pointing it out.
Okay. We'll close here. We mentioned the NL East a second ago with the Braves. The Athletic put their East preview up. They've got the the Phillies winning the division.
They're really good.
They have the Mets number 2.
Yep.
They have the Marlins number 3.
Oh, in front of the Braves?
Braves number 4, and the Nationals 5th.
Oof.
That would not sit well in Atlanta if that is how that finishes up.
You better pick your American team wisely.
I know that's a tough little spot right there. Braves went 76 and 86 in just a ridiculously bad year in every capacity last year. A lot of injuries, a lot of different stuff there as they were finishing up. Hey, I don't hate a Texas Roadhouse. Corey say it in the stream. Like you can get a completely fine meal at Texas Roadhouse. I'm good with that. I got no qualms. I actually think it might be the new Outback in that realm.
It's better than Outback.
It is. But Outback has fallen off.
Yeah, my last Outback
and Roadhouse is all right. Like I'm all right there.
I had an Outback experience driving back from Phoenix.
Oh, really?
Well, I flew back into Oklahoma City and drove, and I was too tired. And I was in Conway, Arkansas, and I went to Outback, and we've taken a step backwards.
I don't remember the town, and I don't remember where we were coming from.
They were very nice. The service was great, but it was just
okay.
We've taken a step back.
You and I were somewhere around Conway, Arkansas years ago in some little bitty town, and I don't remember exactly what happened. Maybe we were not sure if a Sonic was open or something.
Lone Oak.
Was that where were we going though? Because you weren't with me for the Kai Madden thing. Where were we going?
I think we were on our way back from Fayetteville.
Oh, were we? Okay. Yeah, we had some
now that
small
I've done
town.
that trip enough, Lone Oak's not a stop.
It's not where we would have pulled off.
No. I got plenty of places where like I know which are good. That's not one.
Yeah. Forever Outback has been the best chain steakhouse. There's no doubt about that. But I am siding now with Texas Roadhouse. That is where I'm putting my candidacy in that sort of steakhouse, fast food chain, not fast food, but chain steakhouse realm. I think that's the answer. So, all right, tonight Memphis. In Memphis, we'll have cover. I'm not going, but we'll have something up from that game, and then Mississippi State starting Friday. Any news on McPherson that comes out, we'll try to get that to the board at Rebels 24/7 as well, because that will definitely impact State's weekend one way or the other. And then the Sweet 16 starting on Thursday. So plenty of topics I'm sure will pop up between now and tomorrow. Take care, and we'll talk to you then.